Welcome back to Nafe Horsemanship. And if the audio is a little different today, it's because, well, my wireless mic, it messed up. But I got another camera I'm going to use for the rest of it, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to say, yeah, I wasn't going to do any more videos. I'm done with YouTube. Long story, but I've just had it with YouTube. You know, they're determined to destroy this channel. They're going to, but I don't want to disappoint anybody that's been following the series of baby steps. So all of those are going to be here, and I'm going to leave the channel up for quite a while, so that gives you guys the opportunity to watch it. I'm not even going to bother going into detail on some of the nonsense that's been going on, but I thought I'd do one more video explaining some of the things that we're doing. Now you'll notice that there won't be anything new today, but something I mentioned once before in one of my videos is progress. And we're making progress, and it takes time. And I also mentioned that after the series is over, I will continue to work with these horses for quite some time. And today is a perfect example of that. It's probably been a couple months since the last video I've done, and I'm still working with them. Now, not every single weekend. I only get weekends to work with them. It's the only time I have available. And, you know, which is an example of how little time you need. And I don't even do it all weekends. Weather, you know, sometimes is extremely hot or extremely cold. It can be either way around here, and it's not always a great thing. So we have had a few times where I've actually skipped a weekend working with them, but we've still made progress, and I just want to show you some of that progress because some of it takes time and it goes slow. Now, one of the things we were working with was with that little paint is just walking around the yard, new places, and you know, I said sometimes progress can be really, really slow. And with her, some things like this trailer here behind me, she went in that no problem. But when it comes to walking around the yard, that's been a bit of a problem. And, you know, we've kept doing it over and over. And each time we take her out into the yard, we go a little bit further and a little bit further. And just yesterday, we had a rather significant breakthrough. It took a long time. And just a little bit at a time, we made progress. But I want to show you that, and I'm going to share it with you. And some of the things that we've been doing, and some of the progress we've been making. And I was thinking about one other topic, but I'll get to that another time maybe. I don't know. My videos will continue to be available on this channel for a while. When I finally shut this one down, they will all still be available on a different platform, but I'm not even going to mention right now what platform that's going to be because it's one of YouTube's competitors, and, well, I don't need to tell them where I'm going. It's none of their business. Since they don't want to promote me here, I'll go elsewhere and deal with them. And as it turns out, there are alternatives, many alternatives to YouTube. It turns out the one I picked seems to be the best one, but I didn't even know about a bunch of the others at the time. It turns out there's about 20 alternatives to YouTube. So you don't have to be stuck with YouTube if you want to have a channel of interest to you or somebody else. You can always do it somewhere else. And without the interference and rules and regulations that go on around here, that just, I don't know. Anyhow, I'm going to show you a few things that we've been working on. I'm going to go get a couple of horses, well, one at a time, and show you some of the things we've been doing, because we've been making some huge progress. At least I think we have. It's taken a while, but we're getting there. And so I'm going to switch over to my other camera. I think the audio is actually better on that one than this one here, because, like I said, I'm not using my wireless today because for some reason it's failed. Didn't discover that until I went to plug it in, and it didn't work right. So we're working without it for now. And this is what you're going to get, but it'll improve on the other camera. Unfortunately, on the other camera, the video's not as good. But whatever. At this point, I don't really care. I just want to get the message across to you, what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it. And, you know, keeping in mind, start to end, it has been probably close to 6 months since I started working with these horses. So don't get discouraged if it takes you a while. You know, and, you know, I've been just doing it as time is allowed. And this is what you can do as time allows. And I want to show you that. So just hang on, and I'll get back to you with the other camera in a minute and show you some of the things we've been doing. One of the things that I want to talk about that I have mentioned before in another video on my YouTube channel
But I want to talk about it in regards to, well, in general, not much different really. Hand feeding, treats, hand feeding horses. Now, throughout all of the training of the youngsters, I've not used treats, ever. And a lot of trainers, clinicians, etc., will discourage the use of treats. Now, I've heard one guy mentioned a reason that he thought was pretty legit for not using treats or hand feeding horses. I'm not sure I agree. As for any of the other reasons for not hand feeding horses, I don't agree with them either. But they aren't necessary, not for training. And if done wrong, you can create a monster. Now, right away, these little ones are coming up to me because they've kind of gotten to, I should be respectful though, pretty good. This one, yeah, not bad. Okay, now, I actually have some treats in my pocket. And I do hand feed and treat horses. But I have rules, very strict rules. Now, you'll notice these two at the moment are staying back. Both their noses are going. This one's getting closer, and when she gets too close, there. That's all we do for discipline. Just the back of my hand. We'll come up and tap them on the nose. Now I'm going to pull out a treat, and let's see if she stays back. Okay, she's staying back. She's being a good girl. She's got manners. Because I have very strict rules. Now I'm going to give this one a treat too. And this is something I've just very recently been doing with these horses too. So you keep your nose back. Good girl. She doesn't even know much about taking treats. There we go. Gives you an idea how seldom she's had a treat. But we have rules. And bribery doesn't work. The treat can be used as a reward, but done incorrectly at the wrong time, it can be very bad, very, very bad. And you can, turn a horse in. One of the things, if you hand feed horses, you're going to hear this. If you hand feed horses, you'll turn them into biters. That's not true. I've been hand feeding my horse for 15 years, and she's gotten better, not worse. She's been fairly aggressive. And this one is an excellent example. She knows the rules. She knows I have a treat. She's getting close. And if my back is turned, she'll bump me on the back with her nose just to remind me that she's there. She knows I got treats, but she's not touching me yet. Not yet. But if she wants a treat, we got rules. Look down at the feet. Watch the feet. Back up, dear. There we go. Manners. If the horse crowds you, do not ever give them a treat. If they do anything undesirable whatsoever, do not give them a treat. A treat can only be used as a reward. It's never a bribe. And this one, she knows, because this one I actually have been giving treats to from time to time. So she kind of knows the rules. This one over here, she's pretty new at treats, so she doesn't know the rules. Now I'm ignoring this one, so she's getting a little closer to me. No, I think you better back up again. Take a step back. You're not going to get one if you don't. There you go. Back up. Very good. Thank you. Now this one over here. She's kind of new to this stuff, but let's see what happens. She's not being pushy. That's good. This one is, and she's going to get a finger in the nose. She knows the rules. No excuse for bad behavior from that one. Get out of the way. I'm going to deal with the little one here. You, back up. Back up. Back up. There we go. She gets a treat. Her behavior was acceptable. This one's too close for my liking. I'm not going to give her one. Ah, you see that? I don't know if you caught that. There we go. She knows the rules and automatically backs up. This one here, she knows the rules too. And she's keeping her distance. Do they want treats? Of course they do. They love treats. And treats are great. They're a good way to build a relationship with a horse. But it's a case of it has to be done right. You can't just hand out treats when the horse demands them. It's got to be on your terms. Now she's getting too close. Back up. Back up. There, that's better. Now I'll give you a treat. There. See, the treat is a reward for good behavior, and the good behavior is manners. You're too close. Back up, dear. Back those feet up. Yep, one more. Good girl. Now I'll see what this little girl does. She's the least experienced with this stuff. She's way too close. See, I actually have a treat in my hand down here, and I just popped her with my hand, and she's going to learn that coming into the treat is not good. Rules are the treat comes to the horse does not come to the treat. And she's decided it's not worth the trouble. That's okay. I can still give you examples. Well, I probably don't need to anymore. I've already done it. We've already given you examples. I don't need to do any more. Back up, dear. You need to have manners. Now, I don't play favorites. This horse went from you could get bit if you weren't careful how you did it to she's very gentle now at taking treats. So, and I've been hand feeding her for about 15 years. So, anybody that tells you that it creates problems, no, it's how it's done. Now back up, dear. Now watch those feet. Back up. You gotta back up if you want a treat. Hey, you. Back up. There we go. Good girl. Well, you want mine too? Yeah, you want mine too? Okay, just a minute. Back up. Good girl. Good girl. Well, let's try again with this one. She's back. She made a little lap here. She's back up a little, dear. Good girl. Did you see the feet move back? She's not crowding me. Good girl. That's one of those things you gotta do. I had to throw this one in. It's one of those things a lot of people say absolutely do not use treats ever. Don't ever hand feed. There's lots of different reasons. You can create a monster if you do it wrong. Guaranteed. If you don't do it right, it can cause problems. I can guarantee it. Done right? No, never a problem. Like I said, I've been hand feeding this one for 15 years. Not a problem. So she's kind of proof of what happens. You'll notice she's keeping her distance. She's not getting pushy. She knows better. And one more time, I'll do it. I'll show you. This is my rules. The horse has to earn the treat. It has to be respectful, have good manners. And in my case, if they get too close to me, they definitely are not going to get a treat. And she knows the rules well enough to know that if I tell her to back up, come on, back up. There you go. She's got manners. And you'll notice that none of these horses have bridles, leads on them, halters, whatever you want to call it. Nothing on them. This is what they're taught to do. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to put a halter on one here. Take her for a walk and show you something else. Well, I mentioned before how it's important to take your horse different places, especially if it's not comfortable with them. You got to work up to it. And in the case of this one, it's been a while. And, well, just you know what I'm talking about, this horse here. And previously we've walked up to the back side of that house, and she wasn't even crazy about that house. She didn't like the house, and there was a few other obstacles in the backyard she didn't think too highly of. Well, yesterday, even though it was quite windy and she was acting a little strange because of the wind, we got brave and went a little bit further, and she was being pretty good, so we went a little bit further, and well, eventually we walked right out to here, which is exactly what we're doing today. Now you can probably hear her behind me. And she is just calmly plodding along. What a good girl. What a good girl. Yeah. But this is what we've been working up to, and this is why I mentioned in a previous video how things are all interconnected and how everything you do works with something else. And the fact that we can lead her out here now is because we've done so many other things with her that she's gotten to trust me, that I'll take her places that won't hurt her. She doesn't have to worry. And I'm just going to do something else here. Oh, she's not even in a hurry to turn around. That's great. One of the things we were doing yesterday, that on our way back, every once in a while we'd stop, just to see if she was stopping where she's supposed to. And guess what? Slack lead, she's where she's supposed to be. I stop, she stops. I go a little more. She follows along. Lead's still loose. I confuse her when I spin around like that. She doesn't know what the heck I'm doing. But I'm just going to stop again. And guess what? She stops. Good girl. But how did this happen? Well, it was one of those things. I say sometimes the progress can be pretty slow, and we've been walking her around the yard a lot, and every day we'd go a little bit further with her. But I truly believe that what we've managed to accomplish has to do with all the time that we have spent with her doing everything. You know, no just one thing. Not just leading her around the yard. It's a combination of that in many, many slow, gradual stages. And just the fact that we've done so much with her that she's gotten to the point where she's not too concerned about what we're doing. If I'm asking her to do it, it's okay. There's even a couple of obstacles in the yard that she's still not real cool with. And I think it's largely because there's tarps involved. But even those, she was very good with today. So, another example. Take your time. I think I already showed you this one, but I'll show it to you again. There you go. A good little girl. Just walks right into the trailer for you. Okay, back up, dear. Or you want to stay in here? No, you can't stay in here. Back up. Yep, just back up. Good girl. Back. Oh, she really wants to stay in here now. She has concluded the trailer is a good place. Back up. There we go. Back up. There we go. Nice and calm. Very good. Again, just even since the last time I did that with her, she's improved. And again, I don't think it had anything to do with us trailering her. I think it just had to do with the, you know, the way we've been generally handling her and treating her. That she has decided that it doesn't matter what I ask her to do, she's going to be okay with it. And that's why when we can lead her around the yard now, although that doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of you, you know, for her that was a big deal, and it took us a long time to get there. I've been walking around that area out there and up closer and closer to the house each time, and she was really not cool with it most of the time. And then all of a sudden yesterday, even though it was windy and she was on edge, and you could tell first little bit when I took her out the gate here, she was a little wound, but once we started walking around the yard, she actually got pretty good. And then I thought, well, geez, can we go a little further, a little further? Next thing you know, we're out by the road. Like I said, doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of you, but that's progress, very slow progress. That took months to achieve that one thing, just to be able to walk her out to the road. Now, the other little horse over there, that wouldn't be an issue with her. I could take her and walk her out to the road right now. I've done it. In fact, the first time I walked her around the yard, walked her right past the house, no hesitation whatsoever. Nothing out there bothers her. But that's how every horse is different, and what you're going to experience, it's going to be different. And have patience. You know, progress is progress. It might be slow, might be very, very slow. Like I said, it took us months to get past that house, but we did it. And so for her, that's a big deal. That's a big deal for this little girl. But it's progress, and that's the kind of thing you get when you take your time and you just keep at it, a little bit at a time, you know. Like I said before, baby steps, and you'll get there. Okay? And now let me go get the other horse, and I'll show you something that she can do. Keep going. Yeah. After our usual stuff. Well, you've seen this one before too. Now this is the little horse that was rather difficult to trailer. And what you did not see on camera was the second day was actually worse. As good as she was, well, I shouldn't say good, as difficult as she was that first day, the second time I tried getting her in the trailer was even worse. She actually completely flipped over backwards, and well, I ended up over there by the barn. But using our slow, gentle, persistent methods, well, let's see what she does today. There you go. And well, as you can see, the lead's nice and loose. I wasn't pulling on her. Just initially, I did to direct her towards the trailer, and after that, it was up to her. She did it. She knew that she was supposed to be coming in here, and that this is a good place. So I just thought I'd show you that. It took a while. We did this quite a few times, but actually, I'm going to try one more thing with her and see if it works. Worked once before. Back up now, dear. And as you can see, we're not forcing her back out. The lead is slack. There we go. What a good little girl. Now I'm going to try something that worked once before. Let's see if it works again. Keep going. There we go. See, at that time I wasn't even in front of her, pulling her in. She's quite happy to be in here. Yeah, a little too happy sometimes. What are you doing? Where are you going? You don't need to go up there. No, you don't go up there. Silly little horse. But I just thought I'd show you the progress you make when you take your time, go slow. And yeah, I'm going to give her a treat because she's been a good girl. And we want to make the trailer a good place. Only recently have we started giving treats. Back up a little, dear. Good girl. Right there is good. Maybe back up a little more. Never mind sticking your nose in the hay. There's nothing good in there anyhow. She's still not real comfortable with backing up in a trailer. I don't expect perfection, but I'll tell you, she's doing a lot better than she was. She's not rearing up anymore, or heaven forbid, flipping over backwards. So when she comes in here, we tell her what a good girl she is, give her a treat, make the trailer a good place. Again, the treat is a reward, not a bribe. I don't use them to get her in here. I just use them to tell her she's a good girl. And even when she's in here, rules still apply. See, she was touching my hand because she wants another treat. Now she's staying over there because she knows that's the rules. Okay. She's still going to try one more time. Are you? Okay, I'm going to go for my pocket. See if her head stays over. No, it doesn't. Okay, head stays over. See, these are where the rules are. The head has to be where I want it, not where she wants it. She's not allowed to do what's referred to as mugging, where they get pushy about demanding food and trying to take them from you. She knows I got some in my pocket. Their sense of smell is excellent. They know that I have some, but they also know that they're not going to get them if they get pushy. Well, if you excuse me, I think that's just about a wrap for today. Back up. You'll get to see she's still not real good with the backing out thing. You watch her tail end. She'll squat a bit. There she goes. She's already squatting. Doesn't really want to back out all that bad, but sometimes she'll actually even do it on her own without my asking her to. There we go. Lovely. Oh man, it's warm in there compared to out here. Good little horse. Anyhow, that's just a couple of highlights I wanted to show you that I thought you might be interested in. That, like I said, as difficult as you saw this one the first time I trailered her, the second time I trailered her, you did not see on camera. I didn't capture that one. And yeah, it was bad. She flipped right over backwards. But again, we just kept going slow and steady, and eventually she went into the trailer for me. And pretty much like you saw today, is just walk right in and calm as can be. No big deal. That's what I wanted to show you. Took time, took effort, but we got there. Okay? And we're not done. We got more to do yet. And you will too with yours. You may still be working on your horse for up to a year. I don't know. Well, actually till the day it dies, because they're intelligent animals, and regardless of age, they are capable of learning. I was working with one in its 20s one time. She happened to be exceptionally fit too. And, you know, one person thought I was wasting my time on a horse that old, but fact is, that horse come from a line of horses that had long lives, and even though it was, I think, 23 at the time, there was a chance that she's going to live to over 30. Her dam lived to 36, so you know she may have still had another 10 rideable gears in her. So it was definitely worth my effort to work with her. So no matter how young or old, they're all worth it, and might take a while, but you'll get there.
Well, that's a wrap. That's probably the last video you're going to see on this channel, and but I hope it helps you out, because a long time after you've watched the last video in the Baby Steps series, you're going to continue to work with your horse, and maybe many months. You know, there's no saying on how things go, and I've given you a couple examples today of some things that are a little bit tough, and the significant progress you can make. So be patient, give it time, and you'll make progress, and you'll get where you're going. Well, actually, I don't think you ever do get where you're going, but you just keep on journeying on and enjoy the journey. It's a long one, and you never know what steps it's going to take, and you know what turn here or there. It's an interesting one, I'll tell you, but it doesn't seem to end. There is a beginning, but I don't think there's any end. So don't ever look at where you got to go. Just look at where you've been, and you will see you have come a long way. But keep at it. There's more to go. Have a good day.